They get called emotionless, cold, even robotic. People often mistake their calm demeanor for lack of feeling, their independence for arrogance. But Sigma males aren't actually cold. They just process and express things differently than most. While others wear their hearts on their sleeves, these men keep their cards close to their chest. Here are 7 reasons why Sigma males might seem cold to others, even when they're not. Number 1. They're tired of fake people. Look around. Everyone's playing a role. The best friends who talk behind each other's backs. The guy bragging about his perfect life while drowning in debt. Too many are playing a part rather than being real. Sigma males immediately pick up on this, and it makes them pull back. It's exhausting to watch people pretend day after day. Someone acts like your biggest supporter, but disappears when you need help. Another claims to be living their best life, but breaks down the moment they're alone. This constant show of fake personalities and false reality pushes these men to keep their distance. They've noticed that most friendships these days are surface level at best. People call themselves friends after a few drinks together, promise to always be there, then vanish when things get tough. It's all quick connections with no real substance. This sea of fakeness affects how they interact with others. They're not cold, they're just tired of the pretense. When everyone's wearing a mask, it's hard to know who's genuine. So instead of playing along, they step back and observe. What's really frustrating for them is how accepting everyone else seems to be of this fake behavior. People know their friend is lying, but they nod and smile anyway. They see through someone's act, but play along to keep the peace. Rather than join this grand performance, Sigma males choose to stay genuine, even if it means being alone more often. They'd rather have one real conversation than 20 fake ones, one true friend than 50 pretend ones. It's not about judging others. It's about protecting their own peace of mind. In a world where being fake has become normal, staying real feels like the only sane choice, even if it makes them seem distant or cold to those playing the game. Number 2. They don't react emotionally to provocations. While others might get angry, defensive, or upset when provoked, these men maintain an almost unnervingly calm demeanor. This isn't about lacking emotions. It's about mastering them. Most people expect certain emotional reactions. Insult someone, they get angry. Challenge them, they get defensive. Try to make them jealous, they show frustration. But Sigma males break this pattern completely. They respond to emotional provocations with logical clarity, if they respond at all. What looks like coldness to others is actually careful control. Emotional reactions rarely lead to good decisions. They've seen how easily people can be manipulated through their emotions, so they've developed the ability to step back and think before reacting. It's particularly noticeable in heated situations. While everyone else is getting worked up, the Sigma male maintains his composure. This calm presence often makes others even more frustrated. There's something incredibly annoying about someone staying completely level-headed when you're trying to provoke them. This control isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about choosing when and how to express them. They won't get angry just because someone's trying to make them angry. They won't show jealousy just because someone's trying to make them jealous. Each reaction is chosen, not automatic. People often misinterpret this emotional control as lack of feeling. They assume that someone who doesn't react must not care. But in reality, these men feel things deeply. They just refuse to let others dictate their emotional responses. They know that the best response to emotional bait is often no response at all. Number 3. They keep their feelings private. In a world where everyone shares their emotions on social media, Sigma males stand out by keeping things to themselves. No lengthy posts about their feelings, no cryptic status updates when they're down, no public displays of emotional struggles. They treat their inner world like a private sanctuary. It's almost funny watching people try to figure out what these men are feeling, while others wear their hearts on their sleeves, updating their Instagram with every mood swing. Sigma males maintain an air of mystery that's both intriguing and frustrating to those around them. This privacy isn't about being secretive or playing games. These men simply believe that not every feeling needs an audience. They process their emotions quietly, work through their struggles privately, and keep their celebrations modest. It's a level of emotional self-containment that many find hard to understand. Their personal life remains just that, personal. If they're having a bad day, they'll deal with it themselves. If they're feeling on top of the world, they might allow themselves a slight smile. This subtle approach to emotional expression makes them seem distant to people used to more obvious displays of feeling. What's interesting is how they handle significant life events. While others might seek constant support and validation, these men prefer to work through major challenges or celebrations in their own way on their own time. They'll share when they're ready, if they choose to share at all. Keeping their feelings private often creates a barrier between them and people who equate sharing with caring. Friends and family might feel shut out, interpreting their privacy as lack of trust. But for these men, emotional privacy isn't about trust. It's about maintaining their inner peace and personal boundaries. This might seem cold to others, but it comes from a place of self-reliance rather than detachment. True strength often lies in quiet processing rather than public expression for these men. Number 4. They think before they speak. Those long pauses in conversation that make people uncomfortable. That's a Sigma male carefully choosing his words. In an age of rapid-fire responses and saying whatever comes to mind, these men take their time to formulate thoughtful answers. This measured approach often gets misinterpreted as coldness or disinterest. People have grown so used to instant reactions that when someone actually stops to think before speaking, it feels unnatural. The silence makes them squirm. Watch a Sigma in a group discussion. While others jump in with half-formed thoughts or emotional responses, he's quietly processing the conversation. He might let several people speak before offering his perspective, not because he's shy, but because he's analyzing the situation. His responses come out clear and well thought out, sometimes uncomfortably so. In a world of quick comebacks and witty one-liners, his deliberate way of speaking can feel almost too serious. But there's power in this approach. When he does speak, people tend to listen. You'll notice this especially during arguments or important discussions, where others might blurt out things they'll later regret. He maintains that slight pause between thought and speech. It's like he has a filter that most people don't. And while it might seem like overthinking to others, for him it's simply being mindful of what he says and how it may impact those around him. This saves him from many common social pitfalls. No awkward apologies for speaking without thinking, no damage control for poorly chosen words, no regrets about emotional outbursts. His words carry weight because they're chosen with care. For people used to more spontaneous interaction, this can feel like pulling teeth. They think his thoughtful pauses mean he's hesitant to engage. But in reality, it's just his way of ensuring that what he says is worth saying. Number 5. They don't smile just to please others. It's become normal to see fake smiles everywhere. People grinning too wide in situations that don't call for it, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, putting on happy faces when they're clearly not feeling it. But Sigma males skip this social performance entirely. Their expressions match what they're actually feeling. If something's genuinely funny, they'll laugh. If they're happy to see someone, they'll smile naturally. But you won't catch them forcing cheerfulness just because society expects it. This authentic approach catches many people off guard. They're used to everyone playing along with social niceties, those exaggerated reactions when someone's telling a story, those overly enthusiastic greetings at social gatherings, those forced laughs during uncomfortable situations. It's not that they can't be friendly or show emotion. They definitely can and do, but only when it's genuine. They might smile warmly at a friend's good news or laugh at a truly funny joke. The difference is, they won't fake these reactions just to make others feel better or to appear a certain way. The pressure to appear constantly happy and agreeable is everywhere. Most people give in, plastering on smiles even when they're bored, tired, or completely unimpressed. But these men refuse to put on a show. Their faces reflect their true reactions, not what others want to see. Watch them in group settings. While others are nodding enthusiastically and grinning at everything being said, they maintain genuine expressions. If they're interested, it shows naturally. If they're not, they won't pretend to be. This isn't about being grumpy or refusing to show joy. When they do smile or laugh, it's real. And that makes it mean something. People learn that when these men show happiness or approval, they actually mean it. There's no guessing whether their reaction is genuine or just polite. Number 6. They don't seek validation from others. Watch how most people phrase their opinions. They're ending their statements as questions, but Sigma males just state their thoughts directly. They're not looking for anyone's approval or agreement. This often comes across as blunt or even arrogant. In a world where people are constantly checking if others agree with them, someone who speaks with certainty stands out. It's almost jarring to hear someone state their view without seeking reassurance. Look at how they handle decisions, while others might poll their friends, family, and even strangers about what they should do. These men quietly make their choices based on their own judgment. They don't need a committee to approve their life choices. Even their achievements are handled differently. Where most people might fish for compliments or downplay their success, hoping others will build them up, Sigma males simply acknowledge their wins and move on. No false modesty, no humble bragging, just straightforward recognition of their accomplishments. This independence shows up in small ways too. They won't change their opinion just because everyone else disagrees. They won't pretend to like something just because it's popular. Their preferences and beliefs are their own, not a reflection of what others think they should like or believe. What really throws people off is how these men can disagree without getting defensive. They don't need to convince others they're right. They can state their position, listen to other views, and maintain their stance without feeling threatened, because their self-worth isn't tied to others' agreement. This freedom from the need for validation might look like coldness, but it's actually a form of authenticity that few achieve. They're not trying to be difficult. They're just being genuine without needing anyone's stamp of approval. Number 7. They maintain strong boundaries. People aren't used to hearing no without a long story attached to it. While most will create excuses or feel guilty about setting limits, Sigma males handle boundaries differently. They're honest about what works for them and what doesn't, but they do it without being harsh. It's not that they never explain themselves. They do when it matters. But they won't make up fake reasons or go through elaborate explanations just to make others feel better. If something doesn't feel right to them, they'll say so respectfully but firmly. You see this in everyday situations. Maybe they'll join a group event if it interests them, but they won't feel pressured to stay if they're not comfortable. They might help a friend in need, but they won't let themselves be taken advantage of. It's about balance, not walls. This approach often surprises people who are used to pushing past others' soft boundaries. These men aren't rude about it. They just know their limits and stick to them. They understand that true kindness isn't about always saying yes, but being honest about what they can and can't do. The interesting part is how natural they make it look. They don't get stressed about setting boundaries because they know it's healthier than building up resentment. They're not trying to be difficult. They just understand that good relationships need clear limits. Many mistake this clarity for coldness at first, but over time, people usually come to appreciate knowing exactly where they stand. There's something refreshing about someone who can be both kind and clear about their boundaries. Respect works both ways. They respect others' boundaries and expect the same in return. While this directness might take some getting used to, it usually makes others feel more at ease once they see how it works.